Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. The last two videos I did was about the declining birth rate in America, and I thought it'd be interesting to do a video about what effect society will have as the birth rate goes down, not only in America but over here in Europe, especially in Italy and the rest of Europe, and to a lesser degree in the other first world nations of the world. To that effect, I had a look around and I found this article. The rise of Japan's super solo culture. Those of you who are familiar with MGTOW will know that it started in the black community of America, where black guys were getting fed up with being rolled over by black women, and as a consequence it spread to the rest of American society, and through various means or another it spread to the rest of the Western world. Now Japan didn't have a third world feminist wave that was toxic to men. Instead they had the herbivore men, which were sort of MGTOWs, and Japanese women that were in work were super focused on their career, and they didn't want to marry a guy who didn't have a job. But Japan is having a declining birth rate, and as you know, Japan is usually 10 to 20 years in front of the Western world, so this is how things are happening in Japan, and may possibly be happening here in the Western world, as we have yet to catch up with them. This was written in 15th of January 2020, so it's quite a new article, and it reads, a decade ago many Japanese were so embarrassed to be seen eating alone in the school or office cafeteria that they'd opt to eat in a bathroom stall. Appearing friendless was a no-no. That had rings of being MGTOW, guys going it alone, wondering, are you a homosexual? Because you're not bothering to go with women. But anyway. But many think Japan is changing in a big way. One of those people is Mike Tateishi, a bartender in a bar in the Shinjuku district of Tokyo, which is designed now for solo drinkers. The bar opened in mid-2018, and it's specifically designed for people who don't want to go out in a group or want to go out on themselves for a quiet drink. He is one of the people who attends the bar. He's a 29-year-old guy. He works for a manufacturing company. His name's Kaya Sugiyama, and he says, we don't have much culture for doing things alone. Well, I've noticed in American bars that Americans tend to also congregate in groups and go to bars in groups, and there's not much scope for guys in America who just want to go out for a quiet drink on their own. So that could be a feature coming to American society as the American population declines. You might see a rise of bars that specifically cater to single people. Whether that will work with American women, because they also go out in groups as a collective, is your guess as good as mine. Anyway, moving on. There's a name in Japan for this new part of society called Ohir Rishama, which means party of one. And there's lots of links in Japan, Instagram. There are also restaurants are now catering for single people, cinema hallways, pitch tents at camping grounds, and transport slots highlighted for solo travellers. In the last 18 months particularly, more and more people have been declaring their love of a party of one, a long time in the news and social media. That ring any bells, guys? More and more guys in America are saying that the MGTOW, and they're deciding to go out alone and do things on their own without bothering to go out and try and find a woman, i.e. pick her up. And it goes about the drinking nightlife, Where's the other bit I want to talk about? Here we go. A super solo society. Part of the equation is that Japanese society is undergoing a seismic demographics shift, i.e. the Japanese are in front of America as the birth rate's going down. Last year, just 864 babies were born. And it'd be interesting to see what the birth rate is for 2020 for the United States and in Europe. The lowest since records began in 1899, that's over 100 years ago. The number of single-person households is rising, same as America, up from 25% to over 35% in 2015, that's just 5 years ago. That would also be interesting to see the demographics of that in America and also here in Europe. Declining marriage rates, how that ring a bell, anyone? Are contributing to the rise in people who live alone, but so too is the fact that seniors in one of the world's fastest growing nations are becoming widows or widowers. Declining marriage rates are also going down in America, and that's also contributing to the rise in people who live alone, i.e. MGTOW guys, and to a lesser extent women living on their own, with cats. Now this is interesting. The purchasing power of singletons can no longer be ignored. And this guy, he writes books about the economics of what he calls Japan's super solo society, and estimates that 50% of the population aged 15 or older will be living in single-person households by 2040. Well, that's just 10 years away. Is 50% of the American population in 10 years going to be living in single-person households? And out of them, how many are going to be MGTOW guys? Now, American businesses will not be fools to ignore single guys living on their own with more disposable income. Here in Warrington, there's a shop that specifically caters for guys and guys' toys. It's not open at the moment because of this coronavirus quarantine period, but I suspect if you look around the high street in America, you'll also see shops that's starting to appear specifically for single guys. And it goes down. Where's the other one? The world is changing. Needless to say, it is not Japan that is undergoing the kind of societal changes that have contributed to Party of One. As birth rates slump, i.e. in America and in Italy, and to a lesser extent the rest of Europe, marriage ages climb. In other words, guys not bothering to get married yet, and populations age, which is a common feature among Western nations. Many nations are seeing a rise in those leading single lives. Euromonitor International has released a study that estimates a record 128% growth in single-person households worldwide between 2000 and 2030. Well, 2030 is only 10 years away. 2040 is 10 years away, but then Japan's always 10 years in front of us. A super solar society characterized by young people who never get married. That could be the not the baby boomers, the millennials or Generation Z or whatever they call themselves these days. And the elderly who become single again after being widowed would be the future of all countries, not only Japan. It is no longer practical to focus a business solely on families. Like I said earlier, the single guys, MGTOW guys, if they're in employment that is, all they have is themselves to look after, so they'll have a large amount of disposable income. And the last bit of this, back to Hitori bartender, is familiar with a sense of connectivity to others that comes with meeting other people who are going solo. In other words, if you're MGTOW, you can find like a common ground with other MGTOW guys. You don't have to go out with a group. You just go out for a quiet drink, have a quick chat with them, and then at the end of the evening, when you've had enough, you go home. After all, before working here, she used to be a customer. And the final chapter, for people who used to stay at home, they can change themselves by building a community outside the home. They see that the world is changing. Well, is this the future of Western Europe and America, with MGTOW continually being on the rise, or is this just solely in Japan? I think Japan has shown us a vision of what's going to happen with the population declining and the population of single people rising, and MGTOW is becoming a major part of that. It's just that the American media just doesn't understand it yet, and they've not cottoned on. But American businesses, I'm pretty sure, are noticing the rising number of single people, and they're going to have to get their act together to cater for that demographics, otherwise they're going to go bankrupt. There's also other things that are happening with single guys as they go on their solo journey through life, but I'll leave that for another video because I think this one's gone on long enough. Right, people, thank you for watching. For those of you who are regulars here, you know the routine. Like, comment, subscribe. It's completely up to you. So I'll do another one next Monday on this theme. But until then, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.